Hello, this is Danny Doyle, and you are watching the prologue, once again, of my Fire Emblem 4 0% growths playthrough. Hopefully it will actually be 0% growth this time, as opposed to everyone except for Finn has 0% growths, like it was last time. Well, I guess also Alec got a level up in resistance, despite having the odds firmly stacked against him. So, we left last time, Finn killed the boss, yay Finn, and I'm getting ready to hold the line with Lex and the other calves. I'm gonna go ahead and capture with Sigurd. I still have some villages I need to mop up, but I'll do that at the end of the chapter. I don't think it's exciting to do on camera. I would, obviously do it on camera if it was going to happen efficiently. But it's just going to be Sigurd and probably Ethlin running around the map and collecting the villages that I have saved but not yet distributed the funds for. So here is what we have going on, and normally, so it's weird. They've got the drawbridge pulled up. There is no way for any of my units to cross the river. I've just gone ahead and captured this castle, and they kidnapped Aideen and brought her back home. You would think they're like, well, haha, we still have the person we went to kidnap. No, not exactly. They think, haha, we're under attack. Let's lower the drawbridge so that the invaders can get across. Not exactly the smartest thing, but I'll take it. Feed some kills to Lex. If I can get him promoted quickly, then he will be useful. Because he has Paragon, feeding him kills is twice as efficient in that department. He gets a Brave Axe that only he can use, because only he can use axes. It's not like a personal weapon by the way that it's written, so much it is a personal weapon by the way that no one else wants it. I guess technically Lachesis can use every weapon, but it does not make sense to put the Brave Axe on her when there are so many other good weapons she can use, namely swords. And axes are kind of the worst weapon type. Here we also have a green unit show up. He is, spoilers, the main villain of at least part of the game. I don't know if he's the main villain. I don't know if he would be considered sort of the main villain of the whole game. It's weird, complicated. FE4 is a good story, though. You should look it up. But he is actually going to help us, which is why he's green. He is marching towards Sigurd to give him a silver sword, and that silver sword is going to be... People talk about, like, Sigurd is his own Jagan, and I think I might have used that phrase in the last recording as well, but a more accurate sentiment might be that the Silver Sword is the Jagan of this game. Because I've seen people sort of rank the different weapons, and this is a game where there are tons and tons of really, really powerful holy weapons that give you an absurd stat boost. 20 attack, he deals 11 to me, so I will survive this hit, and then I can park someone else in the spot Lex is in. Ooh, or I can just not do that. But I do still need to move Lex because he's gonna kill that guy on enemy phase. Yeah. A little bit unfortunate, because this is probably going to let an archer attack no-ish, or a hand axe guy as opposed to the iron axe guy who's clogging the way. Might not have been my smartest option, but it's what I did. Where's Alec? Not great on the HP front. I don't think Alec's money really matters, so I will save Ethlin a turn and put him on the church. And start moving Quan up here. And is the only person I haven't moved Arden? Yeah. Good job, buddy. You just keep guarding that castle. I swear someone is going to come attack it and make your existence worthwhile. I might let Arden out of the castle at some point in the future. Let him have his fun. Well, that was utterly predictable. I talked about Azel being squishy. And then I parked him in range of a hand axe. And not only that, I attacked, so I got dealt damage on player phase. Let's just go ahead and redo that turn. It was not the smoothest. Be right back. Okay, we are back, and I think what I'm going to do this time is, instead of moving Azel down like that, I'm gonna have him attack this guy with fire. So that Lex can stay there. Potentially. And we're still going to start marching forward with Midir. Midir's a new unit. I know he looks like a girl, but this is a boy. It's a anime thing. I don't understand it either. He's a bow knight, which means he's a mounted archer. I think he's fine. He has pursuit, and he has a cost, and he has a horse. A horse is good. You get another archer who a lot of people think is better. I tend to disagree with that assessment, because that archer does not have a horse, and even though his combat is definitely better, he's not going to keep up with the rest of your army. In this playthrough, he might be better just because every little edge of combat is needed. Or I don't know if better. I don't know that he will be better. In this playthrough, he might be useful. More useful than he would normally be, because every little edge you can get in terms of combat is something you want. But he has problems keeping up. I doubt that I'm going to give the killer bow to Midir. That's the big sort of like... The killer bow is the only killer weapon in FE4. Jamka, who is the other archer, comes with it. So the sort of level 0 play is, well, he gets it for free, so I'm not going to bother with the pawn shop in order to give it to Midir. So he's better because his combat is really good with it. I think that Midir's combat becomes on par with Jamka's for the most part with it, but that's factoring in growths. And this is a playthrough that doesn't factor that in. So I'll see how I feel about it when I get him, but I might do the sort of rookie thing and leave it on Jamka just because of slightly better combat, which I would never recommend in a vanilla setting. I actually kind of like that guy attacked Azel, because now the Iron Axe guy has not moved and everyone is stuck behind him. Not the most exciting thing to watch, but 0% growth, you kind of have to roll with the cheese, and this is cheese that I can roll with. Let's heal you up, because Quan is currently my best combat unit. And then keep moving everyone forward. What does Lex's gold start as? I mean, he's gotten some from the village, and he spent some at the church. He really doesn't need anything other than... Let's see, 21, 2... Well, so I want Finn to be there. We'll send him back. Maybe park Noashir as archer bait. And then that's 21, probably times 2. Yeah, definitely times 2, which means that he will likely Well, we'll see. The AI in FE4 does weird things. Having Noish there might benefit me in terms of the archer moving and blocking. So we'll see if this might be a good way to feed kills to Finn. A very good prologue grind, like you always want to see. Exciting and engaging gameplay. Quan could use a little bit of gold, although he and Ethlin sharing gold is also beneficial. This isn't a huge village. I'll give it to him. He has nothing better to do this turn. 2,000 is good. At the end of every map, characters get gold based on how many castles you've saved, which is why some of these characters who are very, very low maintenance, like, I mean, Alec and Noish aren't going to be any maintenance. They're probably going to eventually just end up in the castle. But someone like Lex, for example, who basically all he needs to do is repair the Brave Axe, and he will probably get some number of boss drops. He will probably get some number of just villages that he happens to save, and he will incidentally get some gold at the end of every chapter. He is going to be... Getting him villages is not a big deal when I have other people to choose from. Other people, like Sigurd, who is going to want to repair the Silver Sword. He's going to want to purchase some rings for Selif, his son, because the way that inheritance works is he will be passing his inventory on to his son. I am probably going to want to get a lot of gold onto him. Yes, things will fall into his lap, but... I mean, I'm going to be repairing the Silver Sword a bunch. I want him to have the Brave Sword, which he does not start with, so he has to buy. Another good target for villages is Ethlin, or later when we get them, Ratchasus, Ideen, and Claude. They are healers, so they're going to be going through staves, which can be expensive to repair, especially the non-healing ones, stuff like Warp and Return, which give you a lot of experience. I don't know why I did that. That was a bad idea. That was a bad idea. I was sort of just AFKing. Or not AFK, I was just sort of like moving units without thinking, because I was talking about... I think I talked about getting Ethlin a village, and so I was like, well, I'll march her towards villages. But Noish dodge coming in clutch, meaning that Ethlin can heal Azel next turn, and we will continue to choke the Suez Canal. Or rather, that archer will. All trade has halted. And here's the Silver Sword. So in addition to getting kills on Finn, in order to get him experience to promote him by Chapter 3, I want to get kills on the Silver Sword and get kills on the Brave Sword. Those are the two swords that I am definitely passing down to Selif with Sigurd. I don't think it'll be too big of a deal to get them in later chapters with him, which is why I'm focusing on Finn right now, because I have a tighter deadline with Finn, and also it's a little bit more difficult. There we go. This chapter and the next chapter are Axe Central, which axes are the worst weapon type. They weigh people down by a lot, but they have weapon triangle over Finn, so it's going to be a little bit... He's going to struggle with, like, hitting them and whatnot. He's always going to be at weapon triangle disadvantage if he's not fighting against basically just archers, and that's it. So I think it's important to be focusing on him more than the Silver Sword at the moment. I may live to regret those words, but that's what I think right now. And it's easy to get kills on the Silver Sword, especially if this, as I suspect it will, eventually just sort of turns into a Sigurd solo by accident. Like I said, there are some other units who will contribute, Ratchesis is good if I can get her promoted. Lex is going to have the Brave Axe. There's going to be people other than Sigurd, but Sigurd is going to be doing the majority of the combat. He's going to be the go-to boss killer once Quan leaves. He's going to probably have the highest stats for a long time. And the Silver Sword costs money to repair, so having Sigurd get these villages, like, since I've kind of got this bottleneck going, where Finn does not seem to be in too much danger at the moment, it could end up that way, given there are hand axe barbarians and there are bowfighters, or hunters, I guess they're called, in this translation. I have a mounted healer who can canto away. I'm fine with just sort of doing the Finn with backup from Christmas Cav for ranged unit bait strat and see how that gets on. Promoting Lex would be cool, but he's not going to struggle as much as Finn is, and he's not on as much of a deadline as Finn is. Like, he'll contribute more when he's promoted, but he's got Paragon too, and I think it's going to be harder to get experience on Finn. Finn gets a couple of good weapons. He gets them later than Lex gets the well, not that much later than Lex gets the Brave Axe. Lex gets it at the end of the next chapter. And that's basically what he spends the final portion of the next chapter doing, is getting it. But I think it makes sense to focus on Finn, because Finn's role in Generation 2 is the point where he comes back is more difficult, in my opinion, than Generation 1, where Lex would be helpful. And he also has the job of helping baby Leaf, because Leaf gets a really, really good promotion, but he starts at level 1. And he starts in an area where it's fairly easy to grind, but he's pretty weak. And so Finn is one of the 2 units with him. Without help from the 2 units with him, his grinding is going to be a lot less successful. So it's possible I'm just like trying to justify it to myself, but finally got hit by something. I think that training Finn is the right call. Plus, I've just got this really, really convenient choke point for him. Like, I thought that was Arden's job, but apparently it's Finn's. Where else is there a village? I think I've gotten all of them. Yep. Alright, Sigurd, you can come rejoin everyone. Oh, no, I almost missed one. Gotta make sure to say hi to Arden, since we're in the neighborhood. I wonder if Sigurd will make it back in time for this choke point to be finished. This, like, Finn bonus experience. Well, not bonus experience, but this Let's Grind Finn machine to be finished. Or if we will have to wait for him to seize the castle for us. I mean, at the very least, he's going to be helpful in killing the boss. If I can feed the boss kill to Finn or Lex, I would like to. Preferably Finn, if Finn can't do it, which... I mean, killing the hand axe guy is going to be difficult for him. It's not a terribly hard boss, but like I said, he's got weapon triangle disadvantage. If I can't give it to Finn, giving it to Lex is also fine, because he's at level 6 now. I want him to get to level 20. And failing any of those, like, I can just kill with Sigurd, but I'd rather not. His stats aren't, like... It's not great. I can probably feed him to one of my training units. Which, I mean, you'll notice I haven't even done anything with Midir. That's because he'll be useful. Like, he has a bow and Kanto, and having a bow, if you have a bow, having Kanto is useful, which is why I think, even though Jemka has overkill combat, Midir is the better unit, because in addition to just movement and keeping up, even if you're going slowly, being able to do, like, I'm gonna shoot you and then run away is useful. But if you're not getting stats from level ups, like, there's no reason to, I only have so much experience to go around. I want to pour it into the units who I want to promote. And Finn and Lex are the two who are both, or either most important or easiest to do that with. And then, of course, the other deciding factor for who gets kills is if the unit drops something, who needs the money and or the item. Hell yeah, another level up. Come on, Finn. Let's do this. What level is he anyway? Level 6. So he's tied with Lex. That is the one thing that I kind of miss about the Path of Radiance, Radiant Dawn level ups, is even though they take a lot longer than this one just saying level up, I at least know what level they are if I'm trying to reach a level benchmark, instead of having to check the stat screen. But this is the SNES. SNES animations are so cute. I love the map animations in this and Thracia. Ooh, a little bit concerned because that guy's injured. So he's gonna be clearing the way. I don't know that it's too big of a deal. Ooh, if he gets hit by all of them, it is too big of a deal. Which, thankfully, FE... Oh, there we go. Clogged the way. Thank you. Thank you. I was going to say, thankfully, FE4 save system. Dying is not, like, it doesn't even have to replay the entire chapter. 21 to 6, 10 HP, 100% hit. The one downside to this as a grinding location is I am on a road, which I mentioned that they increase your... movement. They decrease your defenses because you are sort of exposed as opposed to kind of taking cover. Oh no. I thought you would get him up to full. I guess I should have, Well, let's see. Let's see what happens. But yeah, as opposed to being on the plains or in the forest where you can, like, take cover, the road is very, very exposed. Okay, come on. Axeman, move first. Axeman, move first. I'm already seeing very diminished experience gain. Oh, hand axe. Ooh, okay. We're gonna have to redo that. My apologies, Lord Finn. We will be right back. The neat thing about Finn is that even though he shows up in both generations, he died there, but you'll notice he did a "I must retreat" quote as opposed to like a full-on "I'm going to be dead now forever" quote. He actually leaves, and he will still come back in the second generation, but I want to be able to train him and promote him, as opposed to just have him show up at... I mean, he's got his bases. So, Finn dying is still a reset for me. But that's okay, because I was just mentioning how training Lex is gonna be a big deal, or gonna be a thing I want to do anyway. So, stop it! There we go. Yeah, Lex and Noish can hang out together. And we'll just heal Finn and send him back in there next turn. Get a little bit of axe-on-axe action now. And because Lex doesn't have Pursuit, he is not going to double these guys, which is unfortunate, but just sort of the way things are. He also doesn't have 1-2 range. I can buy a hand axe for him, and I probably will, because he's not a character who struggles with money, as I previously mentioned. But as of right now, I don't have that option. I could also sell Quan's Javelin onto Finn to get him 1-2 range. I am of split minds about that, because Quan is a better unit and probably going to make better use of it. Just having 1-2 range with Quan is gonna be big. And, I mean, the upside to getting it on Finn is being able to use that 1-2 range to train him. Either to allow him to counter on enemy phase, or, as the enemies get tougher, using a Javelin to get some chip experience in. So, I haven't decided what I'm going to do with the Javelin yet. It might be one of those weapons that bounces back and forth between people. Like, in a vanilla playthrough, the Generation 1 Brave Sword tends up being one of those, because you get a number of good sword units, and if you're a sword unit, you want to use the Brave Sword, especially if it's like a ranked run situation. There we go. Noish is proving useful. Because in a ranked run, you want to train as many characters as you can up to level 30. I think you can afford to miss some getting to level 30, but for the most part, you want them at level 30. And the Brave Sword is a good way to get through the arena, which, if you get through the arena every chapter, that's fewer kills you have to take outside of the arena, more experience, more money. It just becomes, I can talk about the arena more in depth next chapter, but the arena's a big deal. And it's also one of the most tedious... No, I'll go ahead and say it's the most tedious thing about FE4. Like, people complain about, oh, you move all your units. Well, you could just not move them. You can't really skip the arena. Like, yeah, sure, you can. It is optional. But you are missing out on so much money. You are missing out on so much experience. Oh, Finn has almost broken his lance. And money means repairing weapons and buying better items. Experience means, well, leveling up. So you don't want to miss out on either of those. Put you here. It sucks that, well, I guess I could put him here, but then he's in range of both this and this. So I kind of want him here, even though that's also on the road. And then you're full, so we will heal up Lex, which I don't know if Lex is going to be choking that point again. He might. But yeah, everyone else is just sort of gonna chill. I may have to heal up the Christmas calves. Ooh, Finn. No dodge. SMH. I mean, weapon triangle disadvantage, but also, it's a hand axe. Hand axes are bad. Sorry that this is not the most exciting prologue, but it's kind of what I have to do in order for this run to be really viable. Part of why I couldn't, or when I was looking for a 0% playthrough, I couldn't actually even find anyone who had actually done one, other than somebody had uploaded a playthrough where they did, like, they hacked the game so that males could use the Miracle Sword, which is supposed to be a female-only item, and they'd heavily RNG manipulated, so the Miracle Sword gives you Miracle, which is the skill Finn has that I mentioned as being really, really good, because it gives you a ton of avoid when you are low on HP. So giving males the Miracle Sword basically just allows you to, like, RNG manipulate to an extent that I am not comfortable saying that is a valid way to play 0% growths. Because it's just, it's modifying the game beyond just the modification. Like, obviously it's a valid run, that person did it, I'm not trying to invalidate them. But it is I want to play the game with the only modification being that growths don't exist. It's the same reason why I decided against using the theoretically possible perfect transfers file for Radiant Dawn, because yes, it is, like, I look at that and I see, I don't like the phrase, like, tainted run, because that feels like, you're a fake gamer, like, stuff. And, like, play how you want to play, obviously. Have fun how you want to have fun. I want to play with the game that the developers designed, only no growths. Which, there's irony in even saying that, because, again, like, this is not a mode that they put in. So it's not, like, I'm not trying to gatekeep 0% growths. My point was that I could not find part of why, in addition to doing Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn, I wanted to do this one, was because I could not find anyone else who had done FE4 without growth rates, and I wanted to prove that it was possible. But unfortunately, in order to make it possible, I have to do cheesy stuff like this. And this is cheese that I'm perfectly fine with, because while it is, I will not deny, incredibly cheesy, it is in the game. It's a thing that you can do. In the same way that you can break Gomez's hand axe on Gordon's face, like Excelblum did in Shadow Dragon. Or you can, I don't know. I don't feel bad about this in the same way I would feel bad about grinding in, like, the Tower of Volney or whatever, because I'm making use of the limited experience in the game. Let's get Lex a kill. Get him. What are you at now? You're at 8. Let's get Lex a kill. Or at the very least, let's get Lex some damage. Because, yeah, lack of pursuit, lack of doubling. I'm guessing, because of Weapon Triangle, he's probably going to attack Finn again, which is fine. It would be nice if this was one of those games where you gained, like, 1 point of experience from that, but what are you gonna do? I can try to... What level is he anyway? He's level 10. Okay, so there's still point to getting the kill with Finn. So there are, in this game, diminishing returns for killing units who are significantly weaker than you. Or even fighting units who are significantly weaker than you. I think the level difference is if you are 15 levels higher, then... If you're 15 levels higher, then you get no experience. And that sounds like a lot in a game where the level cap is 30, but it does come up, especially if you're doing a ranked run or something like this where... That's weird. I don't know why he didn't attack. But yeah, something like this where, yes, I am attacking enemies, or I will eventually be attacking enemies who are technically lower level than me, but I have stats, like Finn has level 1 stats. So the reason for the EXP diminish is so that you can't just, like, become even more overpowered than you are off of killing a bunch of chumps. Let's double check these villages. I know I did that once already, but I don't want to miss any gold. because it is a little bit, oops, it is a little bit, it's a little bit, I mean, I mentioned that it's not as tight as you would think, but it's also, it's not free. And Finn has already almost broken his Iron Lance, so, like, getting people gold is important. Now everyone can start moving and contributing. Well, other than Arden. He's still not allowed to move. Just guard that castle, buddy. I swear you'll get to see some action someday. Probably not. Alright, let's see. Let's see what we can do. Iron Axe, 24 to 14 defense. Go to hell, ya Granville dogs. No, you. Well, actually me. Not the best start, and Finn will probably perform even worse because he's at weapon triangle disadvantage, won't he? This might be a silver sword kill. I would love to, because bosses don't give extra experience, but he's level 20. So he's not going to give, like, bonus experience for being a boss, but he will give more experience than, like, the level 10 people do. God damn. Steel sword is 24 with 14 defense, double. What about the silver sword? That is 28 with 14 defense. That's going to be 24. Or that'll be 28 total. Because he's, yeah. So I can do that. This is one of the nice things about critical being a skill, is I can reliably know how much damage I'm going to be dealing. Assuming I hit, of course. But there's not going to be a, oops, I crit, and I can't feed the kill to the person I want to feed the kill to. We will, well, does he have a hand axe? I think he does. So that's the thing that sucks, is even though it's technically one range, he can attack from either 1 or 2 range at this point. So, attack, javelin? That's going to be, so, even if he triggers Adept or Accost, I can't remember which one he has, he's not going to hit both of those. So I'll leave him here to deal a little bit of damage. Ooh, I mean, low hit rate. It was bound to happen, but it is unfortunate. I would really like to feed this kill to, because I want to feed kills to the silver sword, but the silver sword does not care what level its kills are. Finn and Lex care what level their kills are, because they want the sweet, sweet, juicy experience that comes from killing high-level enemies. Let's heal Finn, and I'll heal Lex next time. I guess Azel can also be useful for, like, but he probably gets one shot on retaliation because he's so damn squishy. This is not going to be a perfect survival run. In fact, as I mentioned, in order to get the kids, the most reliable way to do that is to murder their mothers. So this will be a very few women survive run. There we go. I would say that's a lot of damage, but it's actually not. 32 minus 7, that's exactly lethal. This guy is annoying. Oh, I forgot to move Quan. Oh, I forgot to move Quan. I think Quan is dead, and that is a turn reset. Yup. I'm a good player. What happened is I forgot to move you, buddy. I'll be right back. Alright, I think it is time to repeat that, other than, you know, maybe we should move Quan out of the way. I think the series of moves I took, because it is seeded, so I know if I take the same set of moves, I think what it was is the first attack was with Lex, and that hit? Yeah, and that hit, but then he also got hit in retaliation, unfortunately. And he got a good, like, that's a level 20 unit, so of course he got a good chunk experience, but just chip experience was real big. Of course, everyone has been knocked down to near dead by getting counterattacked already, and this is the second boss of the game. I think this is a sign of things to come, and it is not a good sign. But we will soldier onwards. $24, $14, that's 10, 30. Oh, he one-shots everyone after they are healed. 19, that's 5, sure. Oh. She has he has a boss combo. See, I did it. Ooh, nice. Oh, so I can leave you there. Deal a little bit extra chip on enemy phase. Thank you. I don't know why animations were on for him, though. It was by unit. Huh. I don't remember setting it that way, but like the way that animations work in the menu is weird. So let's see what happens next. Only having one healer is kind of a pain in the ass when there are like 15 people I would like to heal. Ooh. Ooh, don't like that. So I believe if I remember correctly, he gets exactly one shot. So does Lex. It's just the unfortunate way that the numbers ended up lying, I guess. Finn also is about to be completely useless with the... Well, he has one use left. But once he breaks his lance, he's gonna be like, just, it's time to sit out of the fight. Did he... Yeah, so he would get absolutely murderized. Well, 7... Yeah, no, he gets dead. He gets dead. Maybe send him to... Well, church is so far away, by the time he comes back, he won't really be able to contribute, but... Sure. And let's have the Christmas calves chip in. That is going to be 7 points of damage. And he survives. And then... What does Alec do? 15, so that's 1 times 2, Jesus. But he survives, and death by 1,000 cuts. Hopefully by the end of this it'll be slightly less than 1,000, but... What does the Zell deal? And take, more importantly. Attack at 24, ooh, ooh. Okay. And then we'll heal up Lex to maybe feed the kill to him? Get him caught up? As much as I can, at least? Just because feeding it to Finn looks kinda like it's not gonna happen. Ooh! Oh no. I think I actually want to redo that. I think I actually want that not to happen. Yeah, I think I want that not to happen. I think, as weird as this is, that's worth a reset. So, yeah, we'll be right back. Alright, let's try doing some stuff in a different order. Midir, fuck off. Azel, deal damage to start. Because I had not even been looking at that as an option, since I knew that you would get, or I thought that you would get completely obliterated on the counterattack. And so then, if I can hit one of these two, then that's a way to feed the kill to Finn, which is what we all really want. Like, yes, also, favoritism, he's a good unit, he's a good boy, I love him, but I want to, there we go, I wanted to promote him. No, too bad for you. And yes, the villain of this arc is named Prince Gandalf. I resisted the overwhelming urge to make a "you shall not pass" joke when they lifted the drawbridge in the very beginning cutscene. But that is the prologue, and that's sort of a taste of FE4. Here is the sort of like end of chapter cutscene. This happens actually for the first few chapters, is the same couple of people show up. It's like an envoy from the king to tell you about the political situation. FE4's plot is like a big, long, multi-nation politic intrigue thing. I personally think it kind of gets ruined by the main villain being like a schemy cultist person who is manipulating everything. I find it much more interesting when it's just a bunch of corrupt nobles fighting each other for corrupt noble reasons, but I still think it's a cool plot, no matter what. So, yeah, like I said, this isn't a story-based playthrough, but this is, it's a good story. I would highly, highly, highly recommend playing it if you haven't yet. Playing it blind is not going, it's not, if you don't like set up your pairings and whatnot, it's not going to be the end of the world. You do get a couple of units who are sort of meant to function as the "oops, my children suck" button. And play it as blind as you can, because the story's great. Yeah. But anyway, that was the entirety of the prologue. I hope y'all had fun. Like, subscribe, fun times. Bye.